What's up everybody, my name is Astonishing Pix and today we're doing another review. Now this has been a long awaited review and figure for me. Long story short, I've been waiting for this figure for a while now, and I'm just getting it as a big Resident Evil fan and a 112 collector. I think that this hits the spot for me. And the figure that we are reviewing today is the BioEvil 2 the BioEvil 2 R.P.D officer. But we all know that this is Leon Kennedy from obviously the Resident Evil games. And, I'm just astounded at how good this figure looks like. Really having it in hand, it's really amazing what details that LIM Toys got, considering that this is a small scale compared to the 1/6 scale figures that are out there. Like, I think Damn Toys put out a 1/6 scale version of Leon, and that figure looks amazing. And having cloth looks, it makes a difference really, and having that in 112 form is honestly pretty good. And I can say that that I'm happy to have this figure. So before we look at the figure more in depth, I wanted to show you guys the packaging that the figure comes with. As you can see, there is Leon with his base picture. And I think it looks, again, pretty good for what it is. And it's the R.P.D officer. And as you can see, I got the A version. So different from the S version, which comes with more accessories. But here is the side of the box. And here is the back of the box with more information on the production of this figure. As you can see, their socials, and you can also see the cast and crew who I guess were responsible in the notice. And the bottom and the top, and again the side. And yeah, that is the box. Pretty plain and simple. So here is a closer look at the figure, and in a not so great pose that I put him in, but you could see its range somewhat, and you could see the details that the team over there put in this figure. And I would say that it looks more polished than I thought it would. For some reason I thought it would look really baggy, really I guess not sharp with the details. But you can see here in the back the R.P.D logo and the little emblem also in the front. It just looks pretty well layered, and as far as the vest goes, with the Velcro details too, it just looks pretty great. And one thing that I'm gonna say is that the little radio that he has on his shoulder that goes to his back is actually an accessory and not really molded with the figure. If you're getting this figure and you see that it's not there initially. So yeah, as far as the materials are, I hope it holds up pretty good. I've had some cloth figures such as that one British SAS figure that kind of looked exactly like this, and it kind of collected hair and stuff like that. So I'm going to try to prevent that with this figure, since it looks pretty great with the amount of details. And you could see Leon's belt too, how the little buttons are colored in, and the handcuffs there too. I think it looks pretty well painted, and you can see the little knife pouch in the back. That looks awesome too. The little canisters, all that little detail, and it being painted subtly, does make a difference. And I think Hasbro should take some notes when it comes to details like that. But let's be real, they're probably gonna charge more because of that. With that being said, let's just get into the articulation segment of this video. As you can see, his head can go down, and it can go a pretty decent up, but it just doesn't like to stay there. Again, he can go down, but his head goes back up, which is kind of irritating. He can move his head side to side pretty well, so you're not going to have problems there, especially with the tilt. It could be better, but it's there. And his hand can go out about this far forward, and his arm can go about this far out. Not fully, but it's something. And his arm can bend past 90 degrees, which I think it's pretty good considering that it is a cloth figure. So he also does have a great diaphragm joint, I think, or I don't know if it's lower. I don't know how the body works, but he has great movement down there. So but unfortunately the little cloth thing does come undone. Like, it opens up a little, and that is kind of frustrating visually, but I think it's an easy fix. He can move his leg that forward, which isn't a lot either. It could be better. You could also see that he does move his knee past 90, which is pretty good. And here is his wrist articulation, which I would say that it is okay. Most likely than not, it will pop out. And here is the ankle articulation. He can go up, and he does have great pivot. He does go down really well too. But yeah, he has great mobility as far as his feet, ankles, and his diaphragm joint. Here is a full view of his accessories. As you can see, he comes with a lot. He'd come more with the S version, but I got the A version. Anyways, here's a closer look at his combat knife. As you can see, the sculpt is pretty good for what it is, and I also like the gold paint around the handle right there. It makes it pop even more. I don't know if it's accurate. I'd have to check again, but for what it is, it's pretty good. Now let's move on to the grenade. Now the grenade is pretty simple. It's really small. The details are really good, and the paint it's pretty dull, but it is what it is. Next, he also comes with a flashlight. It's detailed and sculpted very well. It's a bit hard to see right now, but it's there. He also comes with this flashbang, and I couldn't believe that they actually wrote the flashbang words in there. It's pretty great. And here is his Matilda gun with his I guess with like a little stock. I guess it's the upgraded version of his Matilda. It looks pretty wonky, so yeah. But he also comes with these little magazines with it. He also comes with a stand, which I think it's pretty cool. And I don't think I'll ever use it, but he does look good with it. It has a little R.P.D symbol there, and I think he looks good if you just want to display him like that. And that was the accessories. Now moving on to the size comparison. So here we have Leon next to the Netflix Daredevil. Here we have Leon next to the NECA Ultimate Ghostface. Here we have Leon next to the Medicos Joseph Joestar. Here we have Leon next to a standard Black Series action figure, the Jet Trooper. And here we have Leon next to the Gaming Greats Republic Commando Boss. So to recap, I think this figure comes with a good amount of accessories, and I think it's pretty articulated well considering that there's cloth in it. And I like how realistic and natural the figure looks. I've seen 1/6 scale figures of Leon. They look amazing, and to have one in 1/12 scale is pretty good and pretty amazing. I'm just happy to have this figure finally after such a long wait. And yeah, guys, the detail is amazing. Articulation is pretty good. The only gripes I would have, I guess, is like the limited articulation around the hip area, and the pants look kind of low on the figure itself. But other than that, I think this is a pretty good figure from LIM Toys. I'm pretty sure I might start collecting any future figures that come out, especially from Resident Evil. I've just been trying to find some Resident Evil figures ever since I got into the franchise, and unfortunately I was late to the party on the figures that NECA released or other companies released. They released those limited articulated figures. I'm glad that LIM Toys came around and made this Leon figure that's great looking and has good articulation. And I'm excited to take a lot of pictures of this guy. And if you guys want to see more pictures of this guy, please follow my Instagram, where I will upload more pics of this guy. And also check out my Vero account. It's a new social media app that has been out for quite a while. And several toy photographers have moved there for a secondary picture account. I would rate this figure, I would say maybe about an 8.9 out of 10. This figure definitely lives up to the expectations that I had. Again, the limited articulation around the hips area is kind of the big thing that kind of kills it for, not kills it, but brings it down a little bit for me. But again, the head sculpt, the attention to detail, the tailoring, it looks amazing. And if you ever have the chance or see this guy in, I guess, online for a good price, and go for it. I know that I got the second batch, so that's why it took me a while to get it. And I know this figure came out a year ago, but I would probably say that this is the figure of the year for me, for sure. And if you guys hear the noise in the background, it's my cat. So I apologize for that, but he's just an active cat. Okay, but seriously, guys, please leave a like, comment, share, check out my other social media platforms. And yeah, guys, peace.